At first glance, Anika Nilles' drum setup on Rush's 50-something tour looks like a massive tribute to Neil Peart. But if you look closer, there is something more interesting happening. The setup was not simply built to copy Neil. It was designed around a completely different drummer, a completely different playing style, and the enormous demands of Rush's catalog. And that may explain why fans have been noticing differences in Anika's setup as the tour has progressed. Before Rush, Nilles was best known for her fusion and jazz-influenced playing, where her drum setups were generally more compact. For this tour, she had to rethink almost everything. In an interview before the tour, she explained that she had rebuilt her entire kit at home so she could learn Rush's music properly. She also had essentially the same setup recreated at the band's rehearsal studio in Canada. Slagworkrant.nl. That alone tells us something important. This was never going to be a simple sit behind Neil's old drums and play the songs. Nilles needed a kit capable of producing the huge range of sounds Rush used across decades of music. That meant more drums, more tonal colors, and equipment arranged specifically around the way she would play Neil's intricate parts. And there is one major change that reveals just how seriously she approached the challenge. Her new Rush kit uses custom Thomas Star Babinga shells, rather than simply reproducing her familiar fusion setup. The kit was also built in custom sizes, with features specifically chosen for the tour. But here is where the story gets even more interesting. Because the changes fans are noticing may not simply be about appearance. They could reflect Anika gradually refining a setup that has to survive one of the most demanding drum shows in rock music. And the biggest clue may be sitting right in front of us, the drums themselves. As the tour moved forward, Anika Nilles had something no rehearsal could completely prepare her for: the experience of performing Rush's music night after night in front of thousands of people. That matters because a drum setup is never just about how it looks. It is about movement, reach, sound, comfort, and consistency. When a drummer is performing a 3-hour Rush show, even a small change in positioning can make a major difference. Nilles has also made it clear that she wanted to approach Neil Peart's parts respectfully without simply becoming a copy of him. That distinction is important. Peart's enormous percussion setup was designed around his own technique and musical instincts. Nilles brings a different background and a different physical approach to the same music. Her custom Tama kit therefore had to give her the sounds she needed while allowing her to play them naturally. Tama's official information on the tour setup identifies custom Star Babinga drums, including large toms and bass drums, with a configuration created specifically for Nilles. The hardware and cymbal arrangement were also built around the demands of the Rush show. And this is where fans can easily misread what they are seeing. When a cymbal, tom, microphone, or accessory appears in a slightly different position from one show or photo to another, it does not automatically mean Rush has completely redesigned the kit. Touring drums are constantly being tuned, adjusted, replaced, moved, and maintained. There is another factor too. Nilles is not playing a static museum piece. She is making the setup her own. That means the real question is not, why doesn't her kit look exactly the same every night? The better question is, what does Anika need from the kit at this point in the tour that she may not have needed at the beginning? And once you understand the physical demands of Rush's setlist, those changes start to make a lot more sense. The answer becomes clearer when you consider what Anika Nilles is actually being asked to play. Rush's catalog is not built around one repetitive style. One song can demand powerful rock drumming. Another can suddenly move into intricate odd-meter passages, while another requires delicate control and carefully layered percussion. Nilles has to move between all of those worlds during the same concert. That puts enormous demands on her setup. Neil Peart's original touring kits became famous, partly because they gave him access to an extraordinary number of sounds without forcing him to compromise his playing. But Nilles does not necessarily need every element in exactly the same position Peart used. Her technique is different, her body mechanics are different, and her interpretation of the music is different. That is why small changes can actually be meaningful. A tom moved slightly closer can reduce unnecessary movement. A cymbal adjusted by a few inches can make a transition more comfortable. A microphone or stand can be repositioned to avoid interfering with her movement. Even drum tuning can change as the kit responds to different venues and environmental conditions. And there is a particularly important issue on a tour like this: consistency. Rush are performing songs that fans know almost note for note. Nilles therefore needs to reproduce complicated arrangements reliably every night while still having enough freedom to express herself. The custom Thomas Starr Babinga kit gives her the foundation for that. But the final setup is not necessarily something that was finished the moment the tour began. It is more like a working instrument that continues to evolve. That also explains why photos from different shows can create the impression that something major has changed, even when the core configuration remains the same. The shell sizes, major drums, cymbals, and overall architecture can stay consistent, while smaller elements are adjusted around them. And those small adjustments become especially important when you remember what happens after the lights go down. Because Anika is not simply playing a collection of famous Rush songs. She is playing them at Rush speed, Rush intensity, and Rush precision, night after night. There is also another reason Anika Nilles' setup can appear different throughout the tour. The environment around the drums is constantly changing. A touring drum kit travels from venue to venue, and every room behaves differently. Stage size, temperature, humidity, acoustics, monitor placement, lighting equipment, microphones, and even the position of other instruments can affect how a drummer works. For a player performing at Nilles' level, those details cannot simply be ignored. She has to be able to see what she needs, reach everything comfortably, hear the band clearly, and maintain the same level of control, whether Rush is playing a huge arena or another type of venue. That is why it would be misleading to assume that every visible difference means the basic Thomas setup has been completely redesigned. The more likely explanation is a combination of practical touring adjustments and personal refinement. Nilles has spent years developing a playing style built around precision, dynamics, and movement. Putting that style into Rush's music required her to adapt, but it also meant adapting the equipment around her. Instead of forcing herself to play exactly like Neil Peart, she could use the enormous sonic palette of the custom kit while arranging it in a way that makes sense for her. And that distinction is probably one of the most important things fans should understand. This tour is a celebration of Rush's music and legacy, but it is not a historical reenactment. Nilles is not trying to turn herself into Neil Peart. She is trying to make these songs work through her own hands. That is why the setup can gradually evolve as the tour continues. Every show provides another opportunity to discover what works, what feels awkward, what needs adjustment, and what can be improved. But there is still one part of the story that is easy to overlook. The biggest changes may not actually be the ones fans can see from the audience. Sometimes, the most important adjustment is the one that allows a drummer to hit the exact same musical moment with less effort. And on a Rush stage, that tiny difference can become enormous. That is ultimately what makes Anika Nilles' evolving setup so fascinating. When fans watch from the audience, they naturally focus on the obvious things: the size of the kit, the cymbals surrounding her, the huge drums, and the visual connection to Neil Peart. But behind all of that is a much more practical question. Can Anika reach everything she needs at exactly the right moment? Rush's arrangements leave very little room for hesitation. A drummer can spend months practicing a song and still discover new challenges once it is performed live. The tempo, stage environment, physical movement, and interaction with Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson all become part of the equation. That is where experience from the actual tour becomes valuable. If something feels slightly too far away, it can be moved. If a particular drum is not responding exactly as expected, it can be tuned or adjusted. If a cymbal position makes a transition less comfortable, the setup can be refined. None of those changes necessarily mean something went wrong. In fact, they can mean the opposite. They can show that the equipment is being optimized around the performer. And that is particularly significant with Nilles, because she entered this tour carrying the enormous expectation of following one of rock's most influential drummers. Instead of trying to hide that difference, she has embraced her own identity while respecting the architecture of the original music. The result is a kit that can look familiar to Rush fans while still being unmistakably Anika's. So when you notice something slightly different in a tour photo, do not immediately assume that the entire setup has changed. Look at the details. Ask what has moved, what has stayed, and, most importantly, why that particular adjustment might help her play. Because by this point in the tour, the drum kit is no longer just equipment. It has become part of the process of Anika Nilles finding her own physical and musical language inside Rush. And that brings us to the biggest question of all. After everything she has learned on this tour, what will her setup ultimately look and sound like when the final show arrives? And that may be the real story behind the changes to Anika Nilles' drum setup throughout Russia's tour. It is easy to look at a photo and think the kit has simply been changed for visual reasons. But once you understand what Nilles is doing every night, the picture becomes much more interesting. She stepped into one of the most demanding drum roles in rock, taking on music written and performed for decades by Neil Peart. Rather than simply copying his exact setup, she worked with Tama to create a custom star babinga kit that could give her the sounds she needed while fitting her own playing style. And as the tour continued, the practical realities of performing that music night after night could naturally lead to adjustments. Some changes may be obvious. Others may be so small that only experienced drummers notice them. But together, they show something important. Nilles is not just sitting behind a replica of Neil Peart's equipment. She is making the instrument work for her. That is probably the best way to understand the evolution of the setup. The goal is not to make every photograph identical. The goal is to make every performance feel right. And there is something almost fitting about that. Neil Peart spent decades refining his own drum setups as Rush evolved. Nilles is now going through her own version of that process, not by replacing his legacy, but by finding a way to carry this music forward through her own technique. So the next time you see a photo or video from the tour and notice that a drum, cymbal, or piece of hardware looks slightly different, remember that you may be seeing the result of a drummer continually refining her instrument in real time. Because Anika Nilles' drum setup is not simply a tribute to the past. It is part of the new chapter Rush is creating right now. And perhaps that is exactly why the changes are worth watching.